Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not just another headline you scroll past. This is one of those stories that punches you in the chest and refuses to let go. There is an old saying that when a fly is stubborn, it follows the corpse into the grave. And once again, that proverb has come alive in the most painful way possible. Just weeks after loud warnings, fighter jets in the sky, and bold promises of peace, death has returned to the Northwest. This morning, on Saturday, January 17, 2026, families are waking up not to hope, but to grief. The kind of grief that changes communities forever. You probably saw the headlines already. You may have sighed and shaken your head. But behind those few lines of text are real people who went to sleep alive and woke up in hell. Despite the thunderous message sent by foreign air power and the constant talk of negotiations, armed bandits have once again shown that they are not impressed. Not scared. Not slowing down. In one night, they turned homes into graveyards in Sooto State. And before the sun could fully rise, a bomb exploded in Zanfara, shredding bodies and shattering whatever illusion of safety remained. Let's take you there, because this story deserves more than a passing glance. Picture a small, forgotten village called Kiara, tucked away in Soboni local government area, right along the border with Niger Republic. This is not a place with street lights, CCTV cameras, or police patrols. This is a place where people sleep early, wake early, and depend on their farms and livestock to survive. It is also a place with no mobile phone network. No signal. No way to scream for help. At about 4 a.m., while most of Nigeria was fast asleep, Kiara was jolted awake by the sound of gunfire. Not warning shots. Not random noise. This was an invasion. According to security intelligence sources, the attackers arrived in large numbers, moving with confidence, armed with high-powered weapons. The same kind of rifles and machine guns we've seen them proudly display in their videos. They didn't come to talk. They didn't come to steal quietly. They came to kill. Imagine waking up to bullets tearing through the darkness. Mothers grabbing their children. Men trying to hide with nothing but their bare hands. And all of this happening while the village is completely cut off from the outside world. No phone calls. No emergency alerts. No chance to call soldiers, police, or even neighboring towns. Kiara was alone, and the bandits knew it. By the time the guns fell silent, 7 villagers lay dead. 7 human beings, gone in minutes. 2 others were badly wounded, bleeding and fighting for their lives. 3 more were dragged into the forest, kidnapped into uncertainty, their families left behind with nothing but questions and fear. And as if the bloodshed wasn't enough, the attackers made off with livestock, stripping families of the little they had left. In one night, lives were ended, futures were destroyed, and livelihoods were stolen. What makes this even more bitter is the timing. We were told, not long ago, that the bandits had been dealt a heavy blow. That airstrikes carried out during the festive season had crushed key groups and forced criminals to rethink their actions. We celebrated. We believed. But this attack, in an area supposedly under watch, is a brutal reminder that bombs in the forest do not automatically mean safety in the villages. The bandits adapted. They waited. They chose a soft target at the perfect time. Air power can't chase shadows at 4 a.m. in a sleeping village. And just when you think the horror ends there, the story takes an even darker turn. Only a few hours later, around 11:30 in the morning, tragedy struck again, this time in Zanfara State. No gunshots. No warning. Just an explosion. A commercial motorcycle, overloaded with 5 passengers because transport has become scarce and dangerous, was moving along the Tokolefia-Godo Road in Bukuyum local government area. Ordinary people. Maybe heading to the market. Maybe visiting family. Maybe just trying to survive another day. They had no idea that the road beneath them had been turned into a weapon. The motorcycle ran over an improvised explosive device planted by bandits. The blast was devastating. The bike was destroyed instantly. Bodies were thrown. Screams filled the air. All 5 passengers were left with critical injuries and rushed to the general hospital in Gumi, where doctors are now fighting to keep them alive. 5 families now sit in waiting rooms, praying for miracles. Security sources believe the bomb was not even meant for civilians. It was likely planted for a military patrol. That fact alone should send chills down your spine. It means the bandits are no longer just hiding in the bush with guns. They are planting bombs. They are mining roads. They are turning everyday routes into death traps. In Zamfara today, the danger is not only who is watching you from the trees, but what is buried under your tires. Yes, the military has responded. Troops have moved into Kiara to recover bodies and pursue the attackers. The affected road in Zamfara has been closed while bomb disposal teams search for more explosives. These actions are necessary, but they force us to confront uncomfortable truths. Why are these attacks still happening? What happened to the peace talks? What happened to the assurances that things were under control? Some local authorities believed dialogue could calm these warlords. This week's bloodshed proves otherwise. You cannot bargain with people who see violence as a business. They will smile at the table and strike in the dark. Whatever informal understandings existed have clearly collapsed. And then there's the bigger question we must ask ourselves honestly. If fighter jets roar across the sky, but a village in 2026 still has no mobile network to call for help, have we truly secured anything? Are we winning a war, or just reacting to it? The attackers in Kiara understood the weakness perfectly. No signal meant no rapid response. No witnesses. No immediate consequences. They exploited that gap with deadly precision. What we are seeing now is evolution. The use of roadside bombs signals a dangerous shift. These criminals are learning, adapting, and borrowing tactics once associated with insurgents elsewhere. If this continues, if bombs begin appearing on major highways, the consequences will be catastrophic. Food supplies will stop moving. Transport will collapse. Markets will shut down. The entire region could be strangled economically without a single siege line drawn. As we mourn the 7 lives lost in Sooto and pray for the 5 wounded in Zanfara, we must accept a painful reality. The war is far from over. Airstrikes alone are not a magic wand. Peace deals without enforcement are empty words. What is needed is a serious, comprehensive approach that protects the villager in a mud house just as fiercely as it protects the politician behind high walls. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe the answer is more bombs from the sky, or stronger security on the ground combined with basic tools like communication networks for these forgotten communities? Is this a case of high-tech power failing because low-tech basics were ignored? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments, because this conversation matters. If you've stayed with me this far, then you understand why this story cannot be ignored. Please hit that like button so more people see what is happening in the Northwest. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we will continue to follow this crisis, track the recovery of the victims, and hold those in power accountable. Stay alert, stay safe, and remember this: a truly secure nation is built on truth, vigilance, and action, not promises made after the blood has already been spilled.